So we have another sort of general movie about other formatting options, part 2, where we're going to talk about merging and centering content in a cell or a group of cells. We can create a new line, which is something different than wrapping text, and we're going to do something called elbow formatting. So formatting other part 2, beginning with merge and center. And we're going to merge and center one line. We have several different examples of text here, but we're going to work it line by line, beginning with the first line. If I select a range of cells, I can merge those cells together and center the content that's in the upper left-hand cell in the selected range. You may want to do this because you may want a column heading that spans more than one column. And the way to do it is after you select the cells, left-click, merge and center. So when you merge some cells together, what happens is the cells that are merged don't exist anymore. If we go into the name box and try to find or navigate to cell C5, enter, it takes me to B5 because C5 doesn't exist anymore. It's been merged into B5, and so has D, E, and F5. So I mentioned that what merge and center does is pick up the content in the upper left portion of the selected region. I have another selected region, and this time the content is not in column B, it's in column C. But when I merge and center, it centers the content that's in column C. It's the content that's in the upper left portion of the selected region. Doing that one more time, the content is now in column D, merge and center, and it picks that up, merges the cells, and centers that content within the merged cells. If you happen to have more than one cell with content and you try to merge and center, Excel will give you a warning. Merging cells only keeps the upper left cell value and discards the other values. I'm going to left click OK, and we'll see the more content disappear. So you can merge cells one selection at a time, but when you have contiguous lines, you can select all of those lines at the same time, left click the drop down, and merge across to merge all of these rows independent of one another at the same time. Left clicking merge across, and we have merged row 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. You can also do non-contiguous ranges by selecting a range, holding down the control key, selecting another range, a second range, a third range, a fourth range, and then left click merge and center. So we have merged row 5, 7, 8, and 9. It's also possible to merge in more than one dimension. Left clicking merge and center, when we left click merge cells, we'll merge all the selected cells into one cell. And once again, all those merged cells don't exist anymore. So U5 doesn't exist, but T5 does. And this block of merged cells functions sort of as a great big cell where you have all the alignment options available to align that content in relation to the merged cells, that entire block of cells. So in addition to merging cells, you can create a new line. And this is different than wrapping text. Wrapping text creates the illusion of multiple lines. It displays the text in multiple lines, but it isn't actually stored with multiple lines. This will actually insert an invisible character that's a line break so that you're actually separating the content onto a different line. And the way you do it is you get into the edit mode, and you can do it in the formula bar, or you can do it by selecting the content and pressing Alt-Enter. I'm going to click off of that and show you that we've created another line. Now, it looks like I've got 3 lines, but I actually don't. I have 2 lines. The text has been wrapped for the second line, so it appears to be the case that I have 3 lines. But when I increase the width of the column, you can see I only have 2 lines. I'm going to go back and select the content by double-clicking, getting Excel into the edit mode, and pressing Alt-Enter again to actually create a 3rd line. So when you do this, you can insert a couple of blank spaces and create the beginning of a paragraph if you want to. Finally, we're going to do what's called elbow formatting. Elbow formatting is useful sometimes if you want to label both the rows and the columns in one cell. So we might have years listed here and sales for Division 1, Control Enter, Division 2, 3, etc. listed there. I'm going to Control Z to undo that, that, and that. So how do we do this? There's really two things at work here. One is the text itself. And in order to input the text, the first thing we want to do is hit the space bar 7 times because we want to input the word sales, but we want it to be on the right side of the cell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sales. Press Alt-Enter twice, Alt-Enter, Enter, to create 2 lines in between the word sales and the word year. So we're going to input year. Control-Enter to stay in the cell. So we've got the text in there. The only other thing we need to do now is use the border functionality. We're going to draw an outside border in that selected region, that selected cell. And then we're going to use the drawing tool, the draw border, and draw a diagonal line from the upper left to the lower right-hand corner of that cell. Escaping out of that and left-clicking off of that, we've created our elbow formatting. So that's formatting other part 2. We looked at merge and center, where we can merge together a group of cells and center the content that's in the upper left portion of the selected region. We can merge and center contiguous lines simultaneously and merge and center non-contiguous areas. We can also merge in 2 dimensions, horizontally and vertically, and create one large cell in effect. We can create a new line in the text by pressing Alt-Enter, and we talked about how to set up elbow formatting.